this chance. Today I will talk about how to break through your limiting beliefs and how I basically break through my own, okay? And I'm gonna give you a lot of my secrets. I'm gonna give you a lot of actionable steps as well. And I'm just gonna share my story on how exactly I got 11 clients within 40 days of just being consistently on HPI. So let's dive just right into it. First of all, a little bit about me, okay? My name is Dave van Vliet, living in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, 23 years old. And I came off the history of just being economics student. You know, I've always been a kind of into personal development, but it wasn't until I dropped out of college that everything started to change, because I just knew deeply down I wasn't made for this. Because let's be honest, like most colleges and whatnot are basically training ourselves to be kind of like a sheep, okay? And if you're in this program, you know you don't want to be like those. We want to be an entrepreneurial spirit. We want to create our own life, okay? And the beautiful thing about this, guys, is whenever you get into the stages of getting clients, earning money, you can basically take your laptop and just go wherever you want and work from there, okay? This is kind of like the ideal life, I assume, right? But, you know, entrepreneurial is all about just taking risk as well. And I literally invested all my money into HPI. So I basically burned all my boats and I just eventually had to take action, okay? And yeah, if you don't really feel like taking action, just remember, guys, you paid a reasonable sum for this program, right? I mean, why don't you want to take action? If the money isn't enough, find yourself an accountability partner. We'll dive deeper later into that, but it's all about just saying no to the things that do not get you further in life, okay? Like I've gone off a lot of things like porn, as well as alcohol, as well as weed. And this is all just self-discipline, you know, and I've even gone to the extreme side of things, you know, just being off these things for 2-3 years, which wasn't really just helping me because I wasn't having a lot of fun. But the basic premise is if you want to have success in life, you got to make sacrifices. And it all starts with yourself, okay? What are some things that are holding you back other than the limiting beliefs, right? What habits? And if something pops in your mind right now, just get off it as soon as you can, right? Go to cold turkey, okay? And if you guys need any help with that, always feel free to PM me, because we can just have accountability partners everywhere. Just links up, because this works best, okay? Because you're not doing it for yourself, you're always doing it for something else. Coming more on that into the next slide. But I'm basically also called the Iceman because I am sitting in ice beds basically daily, or I do the cold showers. And this is just to put myself into an uncomfortable situation, and hereby I can grow, okay? Because as we all know, getting out of the comfort zone means growth, okay? Same goes for overwhelm, right? If you feel overwhelmed, that's a sign of growth, guys. I mean, the last 2 months, I've been hustling hard on my business, and every single night, I literally felt this overwhelm. And I was not like, fuck this overwhelm. I was like, no, this is great. This meant I went a little bit further than the day previously, guys. So overwhelms is a great sign. And even say strive for overwhelm, okay? Get overwhelmed, get uncomfortable, and just push yourself to do more, okay? And lastly, I live in the Netherlands, and I just want to say I really feel blessed living in this country, because I'm able to invest in myself. I'm able to invest in my business. And I mean, aren't we all blessed that we are able to work on our businesses? You really just got to get into this mindset of being grateful for being able to work on the business. Because if you just put on the bird eye view, right, we're always, at least how I was in the beginning of my entrepreneurial career, I was like, I need to hustle, I need to work. But kind of turn it around. You are able to work on yourself. You are able to work on your business. Really come to this mindset of, wow, I can actually work on myself. I can build my future. And really just, that's why I say take some deep breaths, you know what I mean? Even while working, just sit down and be like, this is great. And this is maybe a bit forceful in the beginning, okay? You kind of need to get used to this new mindset, this new habit, but eventually you become kind of high on life just by pushing yourself to be more happy. That's just a little bit about me. And I'm just going to dive right into it, okay? I really want to over deliver with you all, guys. And the biggest secret that I got out of this limiting beliefs that I shared is just letting go. And letting go comes from the book Letting Go by David Hawkins, okay? It's basically emotional intelligence. And it's basically just the fact that we all have these limiting beliefs, okay? But you can release on those. How? Very simple. I call it action, trigger, release, repeat. Because our brain needs proof, okay? Not answers. I mean, you can tell yourself you are confident, you are the best coach, but that is not going to make you the best coach. You always need to take action. That's why Richard tells imperfect action, imperfect action. And I kind of put my own twist around it. It's action, trigger, release, repeat. What I mean by this is the first thing you always do is take action, right? Even though you are not ready, you still do it. You kind of put the foot down and still do it. That's why I say, okay, PM me or get someone as an accountability partner to get you to do these things, okay? Because after this action, you get a trigger. A trigger is basically like a sensation, an emotion that comes up, even the limiting thoughts, right? The limiting beliefs that come up. But the beautiful thing is you can release on those. And this is the biggest part of this kind of success formula that I use. It's meditation. It's just sitting down with your emotions, with your sensations, with your uncomfortabilities, and meditate on them. And I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible, because the only thing you do is whenever you, let's say you posted something on social media and you feel really triggered by it, okay? Maybe you opened up about something. Just remember, guys, vulnerability is very, very sexy. It's one of the biggest part of this HPI program. We are putting ourselves on the internet for other people to join us and kind of relate to us. So again, vulnerability is really key for our success. So let's say you put out a post that is kind of risky, right? You feel maybe insecure or very triggered, like, oh, what will everyone think of me? And you feel kind of these sensations over your body, because a big part of emotional intelligence is knowing that you are not only your head, you are also your whole body that comes with it, your emotions, your sensations. So the releasing part, very, very simple. You just sit down and you just feel what's in there, okay? It's basically just doing nothing, essentially, and just letting it flow, okay? Because remember, everything you resist persists, okay? And maybe for some people this sounds kind of woohoo, but this is how it works, guys. You can basically become your own master by taking action on things you're scared of, right? Put the foot down, just do it. Then feel triggered by it, okay? You kind of get this uncomfortable feeling like, oh, it's something I've never done. And then release it, an active process, active meditation, sitting down, closing your eyes for a few minutes. And what happens after the release is next time you take action again, it's way less down, it's way less decreased, you know what I mean? Because whenever I'm posting right now, I don't even care anymore, because I've done this action so much times, I've feel triggered so much time, and I released on it so much times. And you can always just repeat this cycle, ongoing, and you can make it as crazy as you want, right? And this is just really a success formula that I want you all guys to try out. So next time you feel uncomfortable, you feel triggered, you feel really, uncomfortable, basically, go ahead and sit down on your chair instead of distracting yourself, because the feelings you get, sit down for a few minutes and feel what's in there. This is a really a plan that I'm seeding, because this is not something you can do like that. It really takes some time to use to and practice this. But I just basically gave you the kind of the success formula that I used for getting through my limiting beliefs, because I had huge issues with sales. And I even had huge issues with giving presentations like these. I was always the guy at school who was always like, whenever we had to give a presentation, I was like, I kind of got into the shock, like, no. And whenever it happened, I was like the guy who always like got F's and shit. And I was always like shivering on before the class. But because of this, right, action, trigger, release, repeat, I got rid of it. I put myself in the situations and I went into a very meditative state after that, you know, releasing on it. It's really just sitting down a lot with yourself. Not saying you don't have to take action on your business, take a lot of action on your business, but just take a few more minutes in your day, just sitting down and meditating on it. So what really helped me get these clients? Well, the biggest part of it is definitely all consistency, okay? And easier said than done. Obviously, life happens and whatnot. But the best thing that helped me, and I want to give a huge shout out to Richard Zhang, is accountability. Richard Zhang gave a hustlers meetup, I think last year, November, and this just changed my life. It's called Extreme Accountability Partners. Just getting someone who can be on your toes all the time so you post consistently is a game changer. The second game changer is putting consistent end of day reports in the Facebook group, guys. Remember, the more you put in, the more you get out. I would recommend anyone doing this, okay? 21 days to build a new habit. So from now on, in 3 weeks, you will have built a new habit of posting every single day in the Facebook group. I literally cannot go to bed until I posted my end of day report in the Facebook group, okay? And really just doing this is basically, it's like 800 people holding you accountable, right? There are 800 people on the Facebook group. And that is one of the reasons I literally got my clients right here, because every single day I took action. I took action on my KPIs. I took action on things I had to do, and all just by consistent daily action, okay? If you find this difficult, once again, watch back the Hustler Meetup by Richard Zhang. It was great. The basic premise came down to just getting an accountability partner and posting every day in the Facebook group. Then the TCCT social selling system, guys. This is our bread and butter of the whole program. This is what earned me the 14K that I got over the last 2 months, okay? And I'm just going to quickly explain how I use it. And I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible because Richard kept it as simple as possible as well. It is really simple to implement it. But when we are in the moment, we always make it more difficult. We feel overwhelmed. We're like, but the basic premises, guys, is pretty simple. I'm just going to start with a T. It's called traffic. Obviously, you want to put yourself out there. Okay? Go in your Facebook groups. If you don't have any good Facebook groups, go ahead and find good Facebook groups. And just put your VTP in there and just see whatever works, okay? I was lucky enough that one of my first VTPs really just blew up, so I could kind of model that, always model what works. But if you're not putting yourself out there every single day, you don't know what is going to work. I literally post every single day 2 VTPs in Facebook group because this is what Richard tells us to do. The only thing I did was just take action on what Richard told us, right? So the traffic is one of the biggest part. If you don't have traffic on your page, on your profile, you're not going anywhere because how can you sell to people if you don't have people to sell to? So really put the main focus always on traffic. And the first thing I do every single day whenever I get to work is create posts, okay? I do my morning routine, right? My morning routine is basically water, meditation, cold shower, and then I just get to work. And getting to work to me means basically going into Google Docs, writing a new post for the day, because in the morning I have the most amount of discipline, energy, and creativity, I feel like. And then I just post my VTP in the Facebook groups. I post my post on my socials, right? And my stories. And then the rest of the day, I can basically focus on the other things, okay? I get the traffic part out of the way. And I call this eat that frog, right? Because let's be honest, like it's pretty difficult for most people to put ourselves so much out there on the internet. That's why I just taught you guys the action, trigger, release, repeat. Just do it anyway. Don't care what people think. People have an opinion of you anyways. And just then release on it, okay? You feel triggered by the putting yourself out there, then release on it, and the next time you don't even care. Like I literally don't even care whenever I'm posting on the internet. Like I've got pretty crazy pictures on my Facebook, you know, me in underpants going into ice bed. I really don't care because I kind of use this action, trigger, release, repeat. So the next part of it is obviously creating content, okay? And that kind of ties into the first thing I just told about traffic, content. Just get it out of the way as soon as you can, like first thing in the morning, or if you have a job, totally understand that. Just wake up earlier, right? Do the first things first, eat that frog, you know, get really uncomfortable in the morning and the rest of the day will be very simple. So the next thing that's also very key, and this is, to be honest, something I really struggled with, it's the conversations, okay? Conversation is just really that's something you have to have patience with. Okay, it's gonna get most of your time during your day, right? As Richard says, 80% of your time should be in the conversations, but you really gotta have patience with this, guys, because we are kind of doing the approach of having to build relationships with the people, right? You don't wanna become salesy, you don't wanna do that. Just have patience with them, just talk with them, give everything you have, over deliver with them in the chats, and just follow the things that Richard gives you, okay? Whenever I'm chatting with people, I always have this PDF next to me, and it's basically the conversations lead thing that is in the program. And I just follow step by step what he does, and I kind of give my own twist to it, and it's just one of the best ways of doing it, just following what the program tells you guys, and it works, so keep on going. And then the closing, and here's where a lot of limiting beliefs for you guys pop up, because I know for a fact I've had these. And the one thing that really helped me, and that is beforehand doing the visualization, like Richard tells us, but also just getting kind of into a state by doing some push-ups, getting in there and just doing the best as you can. And everything changed for me whenever I got my first client, because I always say, like, I'm not selling air anymore. I'm really just selling a program. And yeah, this may not be helpful for you, but all I can say is if you get the first client in there, the rest will just, it's kind of like with a pickaxe mining in there. Once you get the first kind of pop in there, the rest just flows over you. And it's really like that. So just keep on consistently going until you get the first client, and then the rest will just fall into place. That's at least how it worked for me. But in regards to limiting beliefs, again, the brain needs proof, okay? It doesn't need answers. So I want you to just keep on taking action, show your brain you are already a coach. And I really like visualization. I do it every single day. I even visualized an hour a day last year for about a month. It changed my brain, it changed my mindset, it changed everything, because I already visualized myself being the coach, being the millionaire that I wanted to be. And I literally now think as a millionaire because I consistently visualize myself being that guy, okay? So visualization is definitely a big part of what crushed my limiting beliefs, because you're kind of tricking your brain being the person that you already want to be. It's very much a powerful habit. And then the last one being obviously transformations. Once you get those clients, guys, over deliver, over deliver, over deliver. And one thing I did today with my clients is I brought them to one of the Wim Hof workshops. It was around 39 bucks each, and it was like a 400 bucks investment. But you know, that's one of the best investments I've ever made in my life. You know, I just got all these messages from my clients like, wow, Dave, this was great. This is a lifetime experience. This goes in the books and whatnot. And this is just one of the best things you can do. Just over deliver with your clients, and really just always over deliver with potential clients as well, right? Give them everything you have. And really the TCCT social selling system is just super, super simple, guys. And again, every time I post my end of day report in the Facebook group, I always go over this. I think like, okay, traffic, did I post 2 VTPs? Okay, nice. Content, did I post on my IG? Did I post on my Facebook? Did I post stories? Every single day you need to do that, guys. Super, super key. Stories, super underrated. Just let's be honest, like how long does it take to take a story? You just start filming yourself for 1 minute and that's it. Okay, sometimes you may have a 2 take, but it's all about imperfect action, guys. People will not remember you. And let's be honest, you are not important as you think, okay? Just put it out there and just, you know, take this imperfect action. And then obviously you want to get into the conversations. This is kind of like the biggest part of the day, right? 80%. Just be in the DMs all the time, right? Whenever people get to you, just start replying, build relationships, and eventually you will get calls, okay? I got people reaching out to me because, you know, like I've been in contact with them over 3 months, but I couldn't be able to get them on a call. But once they see your content, once they see your consistency, they want to get on a call with you. Lastly, or one of the last things is closing. And yeah, if you don't have 2 calls a day, you know, you kind of need to push a little bit more, okay? And I'm gonna be honest, like I don't have 2 calls a day consistently every single day, but I kind of still use it as the KPI. Like, okay, do I have 2 calls today? If not, then it's actually not the successful day, okay? And that's also what Richard tells us in the program. Keep taking action on the things that Richard tells us, guys. I am basically modeling Richard. I'm looking at his Instagram. I'm looking, what is he doing? Okay, let me do the same. And that's why we're in the coaching, but just basically kind of copying what he does and just giving our kind of own twist to it. And one of the things that I also want to encourage you guys to do is to find kind of your twist of branding, okay? I eventually found out that people really love the ice baths. So basically all my clients are from Wim Hof groups, ice bath groups, cold exposure groups, and this worked for me. Not saying it's going to work for you, but maybe you have something in regards to intermittent fasting, or maybe something to kind of business or entrepreneurship, whatever it is, find your one kind of thing that works and keep on modeling it. So that's basically how I use TCCT social selling system every single day. And again, before you go to bed, just go over this really quickly. Did I do everything? If not, go back to your computer and start just executing an imperfect action, right? You don't want to have it perfect, you just need to get it going. And guys, also the one biggest thing that brought me here is definitely habits, okay? Because we'll all have bad days. I even have a lot of bad days. And, you know, even on those bad days, I still take action because it's in my system. Again, it takes 21 days to build a habit. If you start today, in 3 weeks, you will have built new habits. And this is just what is going to keep you going. Everyone tells you this. All successful people have great habits. And one of the things that I personally use is just a very simple habit tracker. So every single day, at the end of the day, whenever I do my end of day report in the Facebook group, I also check my habit tracker and I kind of tick everything off. And with the habit, you are never allowed to skip a habit twice, or else you will lose the momentum. And that's just really like that. You know, you can skip a habit once, but never skip a habit twice. And even with the consistent posting, you can basically almost never skip a day. And sounds pretty harsh, but it's just kind of the mindset that you want to have, guys. Again, all what we're doing here is super, super going to be worth it in the end. You just need to push a little bit every single day and get overwhelmed. And maybe you think by yourself, okay, maybe I'm just a bit too comfortable. Well, use that and become more uncomfortable in the next coming week, guys. Also, money loves speed. And what I mean by that is basically that you got to take fast action. Okay, don't wait around until the perfect moment gets there, because surprise, surprise, the perfect moment will never, ever be there. You need to create the perfect moment. How? Just doing it. Take imperfect action. Get someone who can push you, okay? Ask the coaches, ask an accountability partner. Find yourself someone who can get you to take action continuously. And last but not least, you hear this everywhere. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And it's literally like that. But you may also, because I find it difficult to find a fine line between this, right? Because you have excellence, but you also have perfectionism. Perfectionism is wanting to do it perfectly fine and having the best pose out there. We are not striving for that. We are striving for imperfect action. And yeah, I just wanted to mention it because I've kind of, could not digress this too. And it's just kind of finding the balance for you. And this is one thing that really helped me going as well, guys. Once again, you should be very, very grateful for being able to build your business. This is really, really just something to be grateful for every single day. And if you want to gain a lot of energy, I want you to be very grateful in the morning. And this is something you need to consciously do, right? Just in the morning, just say thank you. It's simple as that. And then at the end of the day, also say thank you. It may sound very simple, but this really changed my life, okay? You become kind of in this great state, this great mindset, this abundance mindset. And as well as whenever you are doing something, right? Let's say you finished all your KPIs, take in that win, guys. We are working hard. We are working on ourselves. We are investing in ourselves. Why not pat us on the back somewhat more often? Because we are doing a lot of work, okay? And just patting yourself on the back creates kind of this winner effect. You know what I mean? And this just kind of keeps you going, even on the bad days. And it's just a lot of value to take in the wins and being grateful every single day. And this is all just habits as well, guys. Again, 21 days to build a new habit. If you want to build new habits, start today. And in 3 weeks, you will thank yourself for taking action consistently. And eventually these habits will become very, very simple because it's in your system. And also want to emphasize on a point, as long as you are not quitting, you are winning, okay? Because consistently always wins. And eventually, if you've been in the program for, let's say, a year, just imagine how much you could have get done if you just every single day take action on it and are not quitting. Because winners are not quitters. And as long as you're not quitting, you are winning. And also a few other habits that really helped me to get me where I am today. It's going to be the cold showers, guys. And Richard does a cold shower every single day at 5 a.m. If you feel somewhat unmotivated, somewhat comfortable, tomorrow morning, even though it's a Sunday, go ahead and just still take that cold shower and let me know how you will feel, because you're going to feel like a boss, in the morning, straight diving into that cold shower. You are ready to take action, guys. And I always say, just get back to the basics, right? The basics for me kind of means the cold showers, the deep work, the meditation. These are just all the things that kind of get you the focus and the attention. And these are all still habits, guys. You can also create these habits for yourself. You just got to start. Remember, imperfect action. And really, guys, the cold showers have been a way. It's been a blessing in my life, because I kind of every morning put myself in this very uncomfortable situation so that the rest of the day is very, very simple. And I keep repeating this in my posts as well, because it works, guys. In the morning, you don't want to straight get some coffee in there, maybe even eat a breakfast, because you're putting yourself in this kind of state of gaining dopamine. No, use the first few hours of your day to actually work on your business. And if you don't have that time yet, go ahead and just wake up a little bit earlier, okay? You don't have to wake up like 5 a.m. like Richard does, like I do, but just get like 1 or 2 hours every single day in your morning to focus on you. And always remember to put yourself out there, right? Take action, get triggered by the action, because it may be an action that is gonna keep you, it's gonna give you some uncomfortable feelings, right? Accept those feelings by releasing on it. And the basic premises of this whole blueprint of action, trigger, release, repeat is very, very simple, but it's not easy. But the only thing you need to do is kind of practice yourself of feeling what is down there, okay? And this, again, this is the first time you're hearing this, it's kind of like woohoo, but guys, this works, okay? This really works. It transformed my life massively by just being okay with my emotions and not resisting what is down there. Because remember, everything you resist will persist, okay? You just got to let it flow. And in this world, it's pretty difficult to do that, right? We get distracted all the time. So many dopamine spikes, whenever we feel like shit, we can go on Netflix and kind of just feel better all of a sudden, that kind of stuff. No, just sit down with your emotions, sit down with the uncomfortable feelings you have, and you will be transformed. Okay, guys, that was basically just all about my transformation from getting from 0 to 14K in around about 40 days. And yeah, guys, I hope you could enjoy that. And just remember, guys, like this knowledge, this wisdom is nice and all, but as long as you're not taking action on it, you're not going to go anywhere, because without action, there's no result. So what I want you to do right now is just write down 3 things that you are able to take action on today. and just consistently every single day, take action on it for 21 days. And then eventually you can just let it go. Okay. You can basically just don't think about it, and you'll wake up the next day doing it on autopilot. That is how habits works, guys. And if you want to be successful, you got to really just focus on habits and focus on consistent daily action. And this blueprint that I just gave you is definitely going to help you with that. And if you want to learn more about it, I would just highly recommend reading the book Letting Go by David Hawkins. It really just transformed my life because it made me more authentic, made me more okay with myself, and made me crush my limiting beliefs as well. And this is just one of the best books out there if you want to be more okay with yourself, get rid of limiting beliefs, and just putting yourself out there and really just don't caring and just taking massive action without holding yourself back. That's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I would love to answer them. I can assume that for some people, it may be a bit difficult, kind of getting this new blueprint in there, or just, this kind of, this new, if this is something you've heard for the first time, it can be quite difficult to get the gist of it.
That was amazing talk, Dave. That was like so much value. Hope everyone got some absolute golden nuggets from that. This is recorded, so we're going to post that link in the resource document afterwards. Just quick heads up before we go into Q&A. Let's all do a quick Hustlers screenshot to capture the epicness of this session. So if everyone can just turn on their video cameras and do the Hustlers pose, I'm going to take a quick screenshot. All right, we're gonna take it in 10 seconds. So get ready. All right, we all good? Okay. 3, 2, 1, Hustlers. Okay, let me just double check that was a good photo here. Awesome. Okay, yeah, so in terms of the questions, so if you guys have a question, just feel free to type it in chat, and that way we can go over the questions one by one for Dave's masterclass.
Yeah, I see one question here by Melinda. She says the action doesn't trigger me, but the haters do. Does the release also work for that? Well, I can tell you the release works for anything you feel triggered by, okay? This action, trigger, release, repeat, you can basically use for anything, okay? If you feel triggered by the haters, their opinions, just go ahead and sit down with the feeling that you get from the haters. And it's just all meditation, guys. It's just sitting down, closing your eyes and feeling what's in here, not in here, okay? You are not your thoughts as well. Fuck the thoughts, okay? The thoughts come and go. If you are gonna resonate with your thoughts, you're gonna make yourself crazy, okay? Because our mind is just, it's a nice machine, but it's also pretty negative at times, right? If you have a lot of negative thoughts as well, try to form them into positive thoughts. Okay, if you catch one negative thought, just get away with it and force it into a positive thought. But release work works for anything, Melinda, so also for the haters. Will's coming in with another question. How do you keep self out of fear of embrace? The fear when you said you put everything into the HPI, not knowing if you would work and bills still come on a monthly basis. Yeah, that's a good question, man. And what I basically did was just trust, okay? Just have trust in I'm a pretty spiritual guy, as you guys can imagine, but just trust on like something bigger that is kind of, watching us. Is it God? Is it the universe? However you want to call it. But there's always like someone, kind of just being there helping you. And this may be one of the reasons why I got success pretty quickly in the program, because I burned my boats. I literally invested all my money in this. Like I went even in depth for this shit. And I was scared, I was feared, but I just felt the fear and just went through it anyways. And even the fear kind of helped me to, because I didn't want to, I still have original thinking like, okay, I may up end on the street, whatever, and the bills are coming in. But I was just having this trust that I can do this, that I can actually gain successes and just, take massive action. And I would even say like these things, they are here to help you because it kind of lights a fire up your ass.
Oh, I think you missed two questions from Stefan, and then we can do Malik after. Feel
Yeah,
free to
Stefan,
type
go ahead.
question in the chat, guys.
Hey Dave, thank you so much for the talk. I very much appreciate the fire that you put in all of us. My question is, I'm very curious. I was at that Extreme Accountability Masterclass by Richard here, who hosted it. What sort of action did you take right from that to increase accountability, to kind of have that kind of sense of urgency under your belt, whether it's with your accountability partner or anything else in your life?
Yeah, well, I remember that Richard told us like 4 pillars, right? Rewards, accountability partner, I think it was end of day report, and there was one more. And I just took action on all of those. I found myself an accountability partner right away, just reached out to the people. Remember, guys, imperfect action. I put my end of day reports right in there, like right after, just have the first day, so that after 20 days, I will have to build a new habit. And Leslie, I basically just took action on every little thing. And the biggest thing, again, that really helped for me is just kind of this self-discipline that you kind of have on burning the boats, being all in. I just had to, and yeah, just finding someone who can be next to you and who can kind of resonate with your journey as well really helps. I found my mate David Morris really just resonating with me. But I mean, let's be honest, like we are all kind of the same. We are all wanting to have one goal. So you can basically find anyone out this group who can push you to do more. So it's just about imperfect action at the end of the day. Thanks for the question.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, so Malik had also a question.
Yeah, man, great presentation. I actually posted it in the chat as well, but I'll just say it again. So yeah, I was wondering, how long do you usually take on your morning routine, especially doing like those ice baths, like first thing in the morning? I'm sure like that takes a bit of time. And you also do like a little bit of meditation and visualization. So like, I'm just wondering like how long, like, would you say, well, how long do you personally take before you dive right into like your first deep work session of the day? Because I know most high performers here or even outside here, they start like 30 minutes like after they wake up. So I'm just wondering like how you do that with all like the ice bath and all that stuff, because I'm sure that takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, it really does, man. And that's a great question. You really want to keep your morning routine as concise as possible. I've had morning routines where I went out for 2 hours, did a lot of meditation, visualization. Those things are great, but they only help you. You still need to take the action. So what I do is I just prime myself for the deep work that's going after that. How? Putting myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations in the morning, eating that frog, going into the cold shower, doing a cold bath. And yeah, usually my morning routine lasts about 45 minutes. And it's really just the fact that you need to be very, very hard on yourself in the beginning. And this may sound a bit harsh, but this is just the best way of getting yourself into success as fast as possible. Just the first 45 minutes, be very strict on yourself, no time for coffee, let your body wake up naturally. Just a quick tip here, your body wakes up naturally after 90 minutes after waking up. So no coffee, no caffeine in that. Good time for you to practice your morning routine. But yeah, for me, it's just about 45 minutes, sometimes 60, but I wouldn't recommend doing it longer than that, or else I feel like kind of wasting time. You could invest in other important things like the TCCT social selling system. But I'm just priming myself for the day, man. And again, like my morning routine works for me, but you got to find your own. What I would recommend anyone having in the morning routine though, is the cold shower, to eat that frog, and some meditation to really prime you for the day and kind of just have you grounded before you get kind of attentions all over the place and the dopamine starts hitting and that kind of stuff, because we live in a crazy world sometimes. And you just got to stay grounded, especially.
Right.
But I love that question, man. Hope that helped.
Yeah. And just like one more thing too, just to add on to that. So like, what would you say to like people that would tell like, oh man, 45 minutes to an hour, like that's too long. I feel like that's like wasting time. Like, what do you have to say to those people that think spending 45 priming for the day, right? 45 to an hour. Like, what do you have to say to those people that want to wake up and just start work like right away without like priming themselves?
Yeah, oh man, that's a great question. And first of all, like just to remember that the morning routine, the first thing you do, is kind of the same every single day. Okay, so let's say you read 10 minutes a day in the morning, or you do 10 minutes of meditation every single day. Time that by 365. It's a lot of time meditating. That's a lot of time reading. That's no time wasted. In addition to that, you are priming yourself for the deep work. Whenever I wake up right now and I'm going straight into deep work, I'm not even ready for it. I'm going to be less efficient. I'm just priming myself for the day. And yeah, really just the morning routines is one of the biggest things that got me here into my successes. And I think I can kind of say the same for Richard, because I've been following Richard for a long time. And I know him as the guy that's helping me to cold showers at 5 a.m. And look where he is right now, guys. So it's just all about just getting your consistent daily actions in there. And even though like you know, my morning routine is not always perfect. Okay, I even have bad days, but I never skip like any of my morning routine projects. You know, sometimes I do only like 1 minute of meditation, but I want to show my brain that I do it every single day so that I don't skip a habit twice. Great questions, Malik, love it. Richard Zhang is coming in with a question, which is tougher, ice baths or cold showers? Great question, man. And you know, you're not gonna expect this, guys, but the harder one is definitely cold showers. But you can use that for the Eat That Frog mentality in the morning, okay? Doing the Eat That Frog cold shower in the morning is such a great habit, guys. Start implementing that shit as soon as you can. Only like 10 seconds. It's just like a shock in the body, and you're shocked to your system and a shock in your comfort zone. It's really just a great thing to do. And the ice baths are way easier because the first 10 seconds are very hard. But once you get control over your breath, you can basically just chill, you know, you just need to accept it. And ice baths are really a great practice for the release part that I just mentioned. Love the question, man. Always the ice baths are easier, in my opinion. But most of my clients tell the same, most people tell the same, because the cold shower, you can kind of avoid the cold and you get back into it. It's just really too difficult. And the ice bath is just chilling in the bed and kind of just accepting the pain. Aileen is coming in with the question, could you share how you do your meditation? Yeah, I can even do a live demo, and I can also answer Will Theo's question with that. And what I do, and this is again an active meditation, it doesn't really matter, guys. You just need to get it in. But how I do it is very, very simple. I kind of just sit down, place my hands on my legs, and I just close my eyes, obviously, and I visualize kind of something going from my spine all the way to my back, lower back, because then you get out of your head and get in tune with your sensations, with your emotions, with your body. What I do then is just 6 seconds in, going down, and then I hold it, also around 3 to 6 seconds, and then I do a kind of also for 6 seconds, all just focusing on the body. You'll start noticing some sensations. You'll start noticing some, I even had times where I was trembling and really just being with my emotions, because guys, we are kind of most of the time resisting our emotions because we are in this busy life. But once you're sitting down in these releases, in these meditations, you are able to accept them and then they will fade. Accepting doesn't mean stepping away from them, because they are still in your body. You just got to be okay with them. And this is just one thing I use. This is one thing I learned out of the book. And this just works for me, but it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that you just sit down, be with yourself, be with your emotions, be with the uncomfortabilities. And yeah, this meditation is really, really great. I call it this 6-3-6, okay? 6 seconds in, going down, 3 seconds hold around your lower back butt, and then just 6 seconds out. And then just repeat that until, yeah, I would say 3, 5, 10, 15 minutes. The longer the better, to be honest, because there's always something to release, or there's always something to let go of. We all have traumas, guys. We all have traumas from the past. You gotta, imagine yourself being in the store with your mother back in the day, and your mother is all of a sudden gone. That is literally a trauma that's in your body, okay? Because at that point, as a kid, you believe that you literally just lost your mother. And this is just an example of that, all the traumas we have in our bodies. And by doing this work, you are letting go of all the things that are running you, all the things that are holding you back, all the beliefs that are holding you back. And just doing this meditation on a daily basis is gonna literally transform you, guys. It's super simple, but if you do this consistently, you will get really, really authentic, because you really just don't give a fuck what other people think. You're just okay with yourself. You are loving yourself just by doing this work. So yeah, I hope that helped. And again, it doesn't really matter what kind of tactic you use. This just works for me. It's just about the fact that you put in the minutes, you put in the hours of being okay with yourself. Because let's be honest, meditation is hard. Whenever you are going to do this for the first time, your thoughts are going to be all over the place. Don't care about the thoughts, okay? They will always stay there. But you will most likely feel very uncomfortable. And that is the point. You got to feel uncomfortable. You got to go through this kind of pain for you to become free? But great question, Eileen, loved it. Malik is asking how long I stay in the ice baths. Really depends. Like obviously I can go for pretty long, like 15 minutes, but most of the times I just usually do like 3 minutes just to become efficient and have the most benefits. But I have like days where I really want to push myself and push my mindset, because with the ice baths, it's just like our bodies can comprehend the cold. Okay, if you've done some cold showers, you can go in the bed and just sit there, as long as you don't have any diseases or any like medications. And it's all just the power of the mind. So it's a really, really good mindset training. And if you want to start with this, just start with 2 to 3 minutes. But if you want to push, just go for 10, 15 minutes and see how good you feel afterward, because you are literally kind of just shattering your limiting beliefs, improving your mindset, because you are in control. Okay, your thoughts and your brain is like, get out, get out, get out, you're gonna die. But your body is super, super strong, guys, and you can definitely do cold baths as well. What I would recommend before doing the cold bath is doing the Wim Hof breathing before, though. And the Wim Hof breathing is basically just doing deep breaths around 30 times, then holding your breath for X amount of time, and then just going into the kind of state where you push all the air to your head. This is just very quickly how the Wim Hof breathing works. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there who can also help you with this. But these two habits, cold baths as well as Wim Hof breathing, changed my life as well, drastically. And the Wim Hof breathing is also like a release state, okay? You are lying there, getting out of your head, being in the body, feeling all these sensations, sometimes even trembling, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing. It's just you processing the things that are going on in your body, because we are not only our brain, guys, we are a whole complete body. Everything is linked together, like the mind-body connection. And if you invest some time into this work, transformational work, as I like to call it, it's gonna just pay dividends, guys. It's gonna get you a lot further in life, because you're basically just becoming unstoppable just by being okay with yourself and loving yourself. And Chris is asking, when your visualization, is it similar or part of the meditation process or separate? No, it's definitely separate. Meditation is more like breath work, feeling the body, being okay in the present moment. And visualization is really imagining yourself, right? It's with the brain, being in the place where you want to be, okay? Like I'm visualizing myself all the time, sitting in a foreign country, working from my laptop, closing someone on the laptop, putting in the credit card numbers, really make it as detailed as possible. But there's definitely a huge difference between meditation and visualization. But they are definitely linked together, because if you want to visualize, you got to also be okay with meditation. Because once again, if you've never ever visualized and you start closing your eyes, you're gonna go insane basically, because your thoughts, conversations come up, everything is going wild. And that's why a lot of people have sleeping problems as well, right? They don't do meditation, they want to get to sleep. It's all of a sudden very quiet, nothing distracting, right? Then they are like, whoa, everything pumps up, and they're lying in bed, like thinking about all their problems and feeling kind of just shit. And meditation is just very, very important. But visualization is a life changer, guys. Tricking your brain basically to already act like the person that you want to be. So you will make decisions like the person that you want to become. Good question, guys. And I'm glad you guys found value in it. Let me know if you have any more questions. I would love to over-deliver for you guys.